Therefore, you've determined to start out your own business on the internet. Congratulations! It will in all probability be the most effective call in your life. Solely operating for yourself will provide you independence, stability and satisfaction that you usually dreamt about. Together with your own business, you'll be able to define your lifestyle and work schedule yourself. And with internet business, you can do it with less efforts and a lot of fun. However, in fact, as with every different serious enterprise, you initially have to coach yourself, and do it well. How to form cash on the net. Everyone is aware of that the net has become something additional than the data source. Nowadays, many folks make cash on the internet, and even a lot of individuals want to join them. Not they all succeed, unfortunately. You must have heard about lots of dot-bombs, failed e-commerce startups. They're big in range, mainly as a result of most people do not devote enough time to self-education. Another common reason for losing money on the internet is the massive variety of get-rich-quick schemes that all promise giant income with very little or no effort, with solely some dollars to spend for some quite manual or program membership. You will never get into this sort of hassle if you perceive one simple factor. The sole guaranteed way to earn cash on the internet or elsewhere is through honestly selling a valuable product or service to a proper audience. Period. Browse the previous passage once again. Assume concerning it. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? But several folks may save their money and time if they ever considered that. So, let's make a necessary conclusion. To form money on the net, you would like to come to a decision what to sell, and then, start your own business. Somebody would say, however, that is all therefore complicated. I have never been taught to run a business. I even do not grasp how to start. Well, how do you think? Who are those people that run all businesses on the web? Are they all geniuses? No. Geniuses do not happen to be born that often. Are they some super creatures, mutants, or aliens from the celebs? Not likely. Most of them are common folks like you and us. The only difference between them and those dot-bomb runners is that they learned additional, and they carefully arrange their actions. Therefore should you. If you don't understand what to start from, read the articles on our net website to be told the large image, then use search engines to learn the details. You do not need to be a professional web designer, software developer, or promoting skill to run a successful e-business. There are plenty of hired professionals who will gladly facilitate and there is inexpensive software that can do all the necessary automation for you. Your beginning investment will range from some $100 to zero. The balance here is between some time and money. If you'll invest some money, you'll rent some consultants or get some software. If you do not wish to pay an excessive amount of cash, but have a lot of your time to find out, then you'll be able to do most of the work yourself, and do with solely minimal automation at the beginning. In general, if you'll be able to browse and write, or have somebody near you who can, then you can run a successful e-business. The only important issue that's up to you in most cases is a smart product idea. There is one more important alternative for you to create. Should you sell a product, or your service? There's no single answer, both decisions are viable, and you'll be able to opt for what you prefer higher, or what you think you can do better. But there's a massive distinction between these two varieties of business. When you sell a product, your income is solely restricted by the target audience size, and by the efficiency of your selling process. With e-business, you'll be able to automate the selling process nearly totally, and liberate most of your operating time for additional necessary things, like business growth, research, or new product development. Well, after you come to think you are happy together with your income and do not need any more growth, you'll simply relax and watch your business work while you're enjoying your life. After you sell your service, your income is strictly limited by the amount of your time you can devote to it, in all probability less than 8 to 12 hours on a daily basis. And working 8 to 12 hours every day continuously isn't much fun, because it leaves you little time for your rest, hobbies, and family. That's why we have a tendency to suggest you to attempt and produce a product, whether or not you mostly sold your working time and never thought of creating a product. If you have got difficulties inventing your own product, the smallest amount factor you can forever do is materialize your work experience. You'll structure and write down the tips and tricks of your everyday work, or your hobby, and provide your readers the recommendation how to reach that field. You'll teach them how to save their time, or how to earn extra cash with little efforts, or one thing else you think that they might be willing to pay for. Then, you can sell your book on the internet in either electronic or paper form. Everyone knows something valuable for other individuals. And you are not an exception. We have a tendency to describe the process of creating your own information product in another article. How can a tiny home business prosper on the net? There are natural differences between massive and tiny businesses. Once you run a little business, you do not have a multi-million greenback advertising budget, and you do not have a lot of personnel to handle the sales and alternative paperwork. The nice news is that with electronic business, you wish very little resources to succeed. The key here is to seek out a good market niche, and to create a nice product for it. These two actions are strongly interconnected. As a result of every market niche corresponds to a product, or a set of products, and vice versa. Therefore, what is a sensible market niche, and the way will you discover one? Market niche is your house in the market, your target audience. It ought to be big enough to come up with smart income, however not too large. You could raise, why? The larger my target market, the larger my potential income, right? Right, to some extent. However, you can't be everything for everyone. You just do not have the resources for that. Thus, if you try to take up too giant niche, you should compete massive companies, which is not possible for a tiny business. Here may be a tiny example. If you try and open an online universal bookstore, you may never have a reasonable market share, as a result of Amazon.com works in the same market and has a lot of resources. However, if you specialize and pick a smaller niche, say, old comic books reprint, your probabilities to succeed are abundant higher. During this case, your target market can be too tiny to draw on Amazon.com, and you'll be able to jot down trendy targeted ads, promote your business in online comic books community, and do different things that your larger competition can never even think to do. And, in addition to having a proper size, a smart target market for e-business ought to be easily reachable online. This suggests that you must be able to find the particular websites, online forums, mailing lists, news groups and alternative forms of web communities where your target market hangs out. You may want to advertise in those places, as a result of you would like pre-qualified guests on your internet site. From this point of view, for instance, Beatles fans are a better audience than 30 to 40 years previous men with a belly. As a result of Beatles fans are easier to find on the internet. Targeting a little niche also has another advantage. It's easier to become a recognized expert in an exceedingly little field. As an example, it is arduous or not possible to understand everything about all cars, but it is easier to find out everything your customers need to know concerning recent models of one manufacturer of your choice. You can eventually become one and all the world's leading specialists in your field, and it will provide you the respect and trust of your customers. No matter the dimensions of your target market, you need to learn the wishes and desires of your audience, and notice a great product that may solve some of their problems, or otherwise give them what they want. If the merchandise you sell to your customers is extremely great, they can trust you better the next time, and will be more probably to shop from you again. This method, you'll be able to constantly grow your business not only by attracting new customers, but conjointly by offering new merchandise to the prevailing ones. What ought I sell on the web? You can sell just about something on the internet, but there are several things that tend to sell the best. The first such issue is information. That's easy to explain. Individuals typically search for data when they browse the internet. The data is what they have at that time, thus it's the product they are possibly to buy. Another advantage of knowledge merchandise is that they're fairly straightforward to create. The following best product to sell on the net is computer software. This is often also self-explanatory. Several net users are computer owners, and that they usually would like some software to resolve their problems. It's logical for them to look for this software within the web, and buy it there if available. Software could not be an acceptable product for most e-business startups, as it requires special technical skills and vital resources to supply and support. Data product and software have another huge advantage for startups. They'll be distributed electronically. This means faster delivery time for your client, easier sales method and smaller expenses for you. After all, you'll sell several other things. A good plan would be to sell your services on the internet, translation services, or business consulting, as an example. Or, you can use the net as a new media for your previous offline, brick-and-mortar, business. In this case you'll be able to either only promote your product on the web, or automate the sales process and settle for online payments.